Well, to say that the weather was a little bit turbulent on the way here, a bit of an understatement. It was clear blue skies when I left my house, and then I went through cloud, rain, and now it's kind of just a bit of a mixture. Today it's high tide clashing with sunset, so that's why I'm photographing the Beachy Head Lighthouse from the top of the cliff, whereas if it was low tide, I would probably, although it's a bit of a slog, make my way down to the beach and then along the beach. I don't know if you can see in this car park down here, I was intending on parking down there, however they've unfortunately closed that car park, which is the one closest to Beachy Head, because people keep jumping off the cliffs, and there's actually some people there on patrol, because essentially if you're standing too close to the edge of the cliff, they'll come and check on you to make sure you're okay. Maybe they'll come and say hello to me. All right, come on, let's go and take some photos. And when you get to the cliff edge, you're going to see some of these ropes, because this cliff is always eroding away. And I think these ropes are constantly on the move as well. So because you can't get to the cliff edge, it's quite tricky to find out where the lighthouse is, because of course you can't actually see it until you're a bit closer to the edge. So I'm just using Google Maps. I need to head a bit further west, and then the lighthouse should be directly below me. Right. Let's keep on going. Now, if you're regular to my channel, then you may recognize this location, because I've made several videos. I've been to Berlin Gap twice, I think. I've made a separate video about the Bellatout Lighthouse. Importantly, the message in that video was, don't be stupid, don't go too close to the edge of the cliff, because actually the photographs don't get better the closer you get to the cliff. A drone is an easy solution to that. I also made a separate video about Beachy Head Lighthouse where it was low tide and I ventured down to the beach. But I have not actually been to this location that I'm going to today for about 5 or 6 years. Interestingly, the car park where I've just been, last time I was actually there, I was making a video about a Nissan Skyline GTR that I was lent for the weekend. And to say that the conditions then were a bit treacherous is an understatement, because it was literally -3 and the roads were slippery, and I was in charge of a supercar. Ridiculous, but I gave it back in one piece. Good start. Danger. Cliff erosion. So essentially, you can't see where the lighthouse is until you come close enough to the edge. And because the cliff has just been falling into the ocean recently, they have fenced off pretty much all the way around the Beachy Head Lighthouse. But I know the lighthouse is down there. I'll put the tripod up in the air and you'll see. These are the fences where you're not allowed to go. And if you're about 3 or 4 meters tall, you'll be absolutely fine. You'll be able to get a shot of the lighthouse from here, no problem. So I knew of this, but I've never actually been on it. This is the former lift or cart. This is the quickest way of getting from the top of the cliff to the lighthouse for whomever used to work on it. It's obviously not in use anymore, but I found where it originates. And the cables are still there, because when I went down on the beach and I was flying my drone, I just had to make sure that I didn't hit the cables. This isn't a great place to shoot it from though, so I think I'm going to venture up there a bit further. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you'll know that I don't like to make controversial videos. And not just because I don't want the aggravation, because I am here to bring pleasure and joy and information to other people. So on that note, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to stand here. There is a rope and a fence here with some warning signs, but it doesn't say I'm not allowed to be here. So there are some patches of worn out grass here, not actually very close to the edge, very worn out by photographers, and this is exactly where I stood about 7 or 8 years ago. If you ever see any Milky Way shots or anything of Beachy Head, and you know that it's been photographed from the cliff top, this is exactly where it's taken from. So I'll provide the what 3 words, but I'll give a caveat. First of all, in 2023, this is where I stood. Secondly, I don't condone you doing this, but if you want the same composition, this is where you need to come to. Obviously, if you're watching this in the future and this cliff has eroded further, that what 3 words location is irrelevant. You're going to need to move a bit further inland. I keep on looking over there because there is a control vehicle stopping people parking there and also keeping an eye on people, and they haven't come and told me off yet. So on the basis I haven't been told off yet, I'm going to take some photographs. My intention is to do some long exposures, and because I'm at the top of the cliff looking down at this composition, it doesn't really matter what the weather is like, as long as there is some directional light, which there is. The sun is actually just concealed behind these clouds here. But I do have a gap on the horizon, which I'm hoping for the last half an hour of today, I'm going to get some sunlight smashing through. So fingers crossed that happens. Meanwhile, I'm going to take some lovely, subtle, long exposure photographs. So I am pretty happy with some of those images. I don't like heights, so I don't really want to go anywhere closer to the edge there. And it's not worth it because the view and the compositions don't get any better the closer you get. So I'm a couple of meters away from the edge and I'm just happy with that. Yeah, I'm quite happy being here whilst it's light, but I cannot see me being here in the dark for astro because this is just sketchy. Too close to the edge for me, no thank you. I think I've got about half an hour before the sun reaches that gap in the horizon, so I'm going to send the drone up. I have got a terrible feeling that that gap that I saw on the horizon is not actually a gap and nothing is going to get through it. At the moment it's just this very subtle red glow. So the whole sky may kick off, but I might not get any direct sunlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the video there, but I will actually be staying and taking some more photographs. Hopefully there's going to be a bit of colour in the sky, and then once the sun goes down I might do some long exposures of the car trails. This area is famous, whether it's on TV, adverts, movies. For example, Pablo and I came here one morning and they were filming a limited edition, something ridiculous, like a £3.5 million Lamborghini was being filmed. And that's what you get when you get these stunning locations. So this is not just for photography, lots of people come here just to explore the area. So this was not the sunset I was hoping for, but I actually got some long exposure photographs of the Beachy Head Lighthouse that I'm really happy with, so that was well worth the journey. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.